Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is a balmy 37 degrees here in northern Vermont this morning. Can you imagine? But I'm not going to be that person that turns my heat on in September, so I will just put on a sweatshirt. Okay, so this is week 1 of the Autumn Alignment Challenge, which is a 6-week sort of course that I'm going to do on the show for you that is designed to have you kind of look at everything that's gone by in 2025 so far and really align yourself so that your fourth quarter is productive and nets the results that you want, and so that you're able to set yourself up with a good blueprint for 2026. Okay, so that was the purpose of the name Autumn Alignment. Excuse me. This morning we're going to talk about clearing the clutter is week 1, and we're going to talk about regret and using regret as a tool, instead of looking at regret as something that's bad and sad and not useful. I just finished a book that Danielle Pink wrote about regret. Has a lot of good points in it, and so I wanted to bring them to you on the show. I'm not going to do a workbook for Autumn Alignment Challenge. I am instead going to give you worksheets every week as we go through the 6 weeks. So if you go to unbreakablewisdom.com, and at the top, if you hit the button that says free stuff, you can download. This is a little 4-page mini worksheet combination to get you through week 1 of Autumn Alignment. Good morning. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so clearing the clutter and using regret as a compass. Interestingly enough, most people regret actions that they didn't take versus actions that they did take. And then there are different kinds of regrets. There are like structure regrets, and there are connection regrets. And that would be like the conversation that you didn't have, or the person that you didn't reach out to, or the relationship that you didn't take care of and nurture. And those are relationship regrets, connection regrets. Believe it or not, those are some of the biggest ones. Some of the biggest regrets. Danielle Pink did a survey, and so some of the biggest things that he found was that people, like I said, regretted things that they didn't do, actions that they didn't take, things that they didn't say, more than actions that they took or things that they said. Additionally, what they regret most are connection regrets, which is, that person you met that one time and you never followed up, and then you go through the rest of your life thinking they could have been the one, but you never, followed through, you never chased them down, etc. So what I want you to do is start looking at regret as a tool. And what I mean by that is any huge regret that you have for something that you didn't do, or even something that you did, or a connection or an alliance that you didn't make or follow through on. These all reveal a need, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be a regret. So let's use a road you didn't take as an example. You might regret not finishing a degree, or not marrying a certain person, or you might regret marrying a certain person, or whatever it is. But whatever it is that is causing that regret in you, it's because you are not deeply satisfied with the life that you have right now. And so instead of living with regrets, which are really just old stories and old conversations, and instead of allowing that to have power over you, what I want you to do is to start disassembling that. I want you to look at what are some of the major regrets that you have, actions that you took or didn't take, either one or both, and what is it that you think, if you had done something differently, what is it that you think you would have gotten that would be more satisfying to you than what you have now? Because that's what causes a regret, right? We are unsatisfied in some way. And so we regret the chance that we had to be satisfied because we could have done this, or we could have said that, or we could have graduated from there, or we could have traveled the world, or whatever. All that means is that I'm not satisfied right here and right now with what I have going on. And that's a power suck, man. That's a huge power suck. Okay. That is what I want to have you start disassembling and unconstructing. I want you to imagine these regrets and the clutter and all of the shit that's bothering you, all of the things you aren't doing, the mess that's around you, all of that is like a knot. And I want to untangle that for you over this next 6 weeks. Because what I want you to see, and I say this a lot, is that you are the author of your own story. And I don't say that lightly. And it doesn't mean that when you recognize this, your life is going to change overnight. What it means is there's work to do. And so over the next 6 weeks in autumn alignment, we're going to dig into that work. And if you print out the worksheets, which are free, and you listen to the show, I promise you that you'll have movement if you do some of this work. By the time we're done with the 6 weeks, you'll have moved from the stuck place that you might be now into something else, and into really looking at how you want to plan 2026. We're also going to talk about, in the third week of autumn alignment, we're going to talk about having the holidays on your terms, because I feel like every time we approach this time of the year, people start to get all effed up about the holidays. There's just always this old stuff and these old stories about holidays, and what is going to be expected of you, or what you feel like you have to do, or who you have to feel like you have to who you feel like you have to perform for. Listen, this is your life. You have one vibrant, amazing life to live. And if you spend it in regret, or you spend it in a sea of clutter, or you spend it with people that don't light you up, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Where are you giving your power away when it's your life? We all do it. In my preparation to do the show this morning, I've been looking at all of this for myself. So I'm going to do this challenge right along with you, this autumn alignment challenge. Let's talk about clearing out the clutter. When you have mental, emotional, and practical clutter around you, it's hard to move, it's hard to breathe, it's hard to even have a new thought, because there's just a lot of stuff weighing down on you. Whether it's stuff in your space that you need to clean out, or it's stuff in your mind that you have to clear out, or it's emotional burden that you're carrying around with you that it's time to forgive, release, loose, and let go. Just posted on our Instagram this morning that, the leaves are just about to teach us how great it is to let go of things, because they're about to let it all fall. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to just clear the slate so you can start over. Oftentimes we'll work on something, or work at something, or try to make it fit, try to make it fit, try to make it go, try to make it go. I am a firm believer in that if things are meant to be for you, they will be relatively easy, and it will flow. There will be a flow to, whatever it is that you're trying to do, or whatever you're trying to make happen. And one way to get yourself in a cleaner, clearer space, both physically and mentally, is to clear the clutter. So in this little worksheet, again, if you're just joining us or you're catching a part of this, if you go to unbreakablewisdom.com, there is a little 4-page worksheet that goes along with today's show. We put a button at the very top of the site that says free stuff. You can't miss it. And if you click it, it'll take you right over to this free worksheet. So one of the first things I ask you is, what are things that are weighing on you right now? Unfinished tasks, draining habits, clutter in your space. Pick one thing this week. Pick one area, one thing that you are going to clear the clutter. You're going to clean out a room. You are going to release an old thought pattern. You are going to clean out your closet. You are going to clean your car. Something. Clean your desk, clean your office, clean your bedroom. Take some physical action this week to clear clutter. Some step forward, okay? And then let's start to look at regret as data. We're going to stop looking at regret as like a failure to act or a failure to do. We're going to look at regret as a feedback model. We're going to use regret to design the future, because whatever it is that you're regretting is telling you what matters most to you. Because if it's an action you didn't take or a conversation that you didn't have and you're regretting that, it means that something meant a lot to you and you didn't move on it. You didn't do anything about it. And now you're regretting that. So what is that showing you? Whatever you didn't do or did that you wish you did not, all of that stuff is going to tell you something. So start like digging into that like a lab, like as if you were a chemist and you are trying to sort through a formula and you're trying to find, how to put it together so that it will do what you want it to do. When we feel bad about something, it's because we wish that we had been a different person in the moment that the something occurred, right? When we feel bad about something that we did or didn't do, it's because we wish that we had showed up differently and said the thing or done the thing. So who, in those deep regrets that you have, who do you wish that you had been? What version of you do you wish you had been in those moments? Because that version of you, in your mind, would have done the thing or said the thing or taken the action, right? Who is that? What are the regrets showing you about what's present in your life right now and what isn't present in your life right now? What causes regret are choices that we made that we wish we had made the opposite choice. This could be like you have an inkling to call somebody and check in on them and you don't do it, and you have that inkling 2 or 3 times and you're too busy or you don't make time for it or whatever, and then you find out that the person passed away. That is a regret for an action that you didn't take, and that's a connection regret. And so we could deconstruct that to say, who do I wish I had been in those moments when my intuition told me to check on that person? I wish I had been a version of me that put everything else aside to make it a point to make that phone call. I wish I had been the kind of person that recognized that my friendships and my connections to people are the things that matter most to me. I wish I hadn't have let that go by. I wish I had been a stronger, bolder person to make boundaries in my life that are created based on what is really important to me. And so, in that example, you wish you had been bolder. You wish that you had made other people more important than the stuff on your to do list. Now that is a regret. We call that a closed door regret. Okay. There are some regrets that are open door regrets, which means that you still have a chance to do something about it. You still have an opportunity to change the action or create a new experience in that situation. A closed door regret is an example of the story that I just told, right? The person passed away. So the only thing that we can do there is potentially, write a letter and burn it and let it go into the ethers and just pray that the person, gets the message and knows that we cared about them and we are so sorry that we didn't make it a point to check on them. I don't want you to drown in regret. I don't want anyone who watches this show or follows me or is a client of mine. I don't want you wallowing in the pity of what you didn't do or didn't say or what you haven't accomplished. Whatever age you are in this moment when you're watching this, a lot of this can be rectified right here, right now, when you start to examine what's really going on with you. When you start to examine, what do I feel bad about? What do I regret? Why? Why do I regret that? What does that mean about me? And then you get to ask yourself, is that the truth? Let's imagine that you regret never getting your graduate degree. And let's imagine that you have made yourself feel bad about that for a long time. So let's dig into that. Why? What do you think that means about you? Do you think it means that you're not smart? Do you think it means that you don't matter? Do you think it means that your work is invaluable? Do you think it means that you would have had a better life? Because it's really easy to tell ourselves, if we had just married that person, bought that house, saved that money, gone to that school, graduated from there, picked that career, traveled when we were younger, it's really easy to say, oh, I don't have the life that I want because I didn't do all those things. And if I had done those things, I would be the person that I want to be right now. I have news for you. The person that you got to be that person from the actions that you took or didn't take. It's not, it's you. It's your inability to be disciplined and consistent and go after what you want. That's the reason that you're not where you want to be. It's not because you didn't do this or marry that person or have that bank bet, like whatever. It's not because you're not driving that car or living in that neighborhood. No. I have spent since April, I have worked with, listened to, or interacted with 50 solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and professional business people. And what I have discovered is what is in their way is them. They are in their own way. Their inability to be accountable, their inability to tell the truth to themselves, their inability to be disciplined and consistent is what is keeping them from the success that they say they want to have. And you know what, guys? Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. You know why? Because then you have to do something. Then you have to do something about it. Then you have to stop whining and bitching and complaining, and you actually have to move your ass and do something and get a different result. And you know what I'm finding? Nobody really wants to hear that because it's hard. It's hard work to change. It's hard work to change your life. And most people don't want to do the work. They want to sit around and talk about their regrets or what they didn't have. And they're sitting in clutter with boxes and bags and trash and whatever. And they're sitting there complaining about why their revenue's not where they want it to be, why their life doesn't work, why they don't have clients, why their relationships aren't good. And you know who's at the cause of all of that? Them. Them. You know who's responsible for me not being exactly where I want to be right now? Me, this girl right here. Same is true for you. And you know where I saw it? You know where I saw in my situation where good enough was good enough is in my workouts. I wasn't being disciplined. And so I put in some teeth around that. And it's been a week of being much more disciplined and consistent, and things are moving faster and better. So I'm guilty of this as well. You have to be willing to examine your life and tell the truth to yourself. You have to be willing to tell the truth to yourself about what's going on. You don't need to tell it to me if you don't want to, and you don't have to tell it to your friends if you don't want to. You have to be willing to tell the truth to yourself. You have to be willing to tell the truth to yourself if you want to change. The only person that is going to orchestrate change in your life is you. So let's start to get you uncluttering, okay? Clearing clutter this week coming up. So in our, from today until next Saturday, clearing clutter. Where can you clear some clutter? Can you clean out your email inbox? Can you clean out your basement? Can you clean out the space around you? When you sit down at your desk, is everything clean and clear around you, or is there clutter? Are there little piles of clutter? Is your mind free of clutter? Is your house free of clutter? Is your car free of clutter? Also, look at the relationships around you. Look at who you're spending your time with and what that's giving you. Because every alliance that you have is bringing something to the table for you. And if you want to really move forward, you have to start cleaning up what's around you. You have to start looking at, who am I spending time with? What is that giving me? Where am I going? What am I watching? What am I reading? What am I looking at? What is that bringing me? Everything brings to you an energy. Every conversation that you have, everything that you watch, everything that you read, everywhere that you go, it brings you an energy. Start to be more of a detective in your own life and examine, what kind of energy is it bringing me? And do I have to set a boundary here about this? One of our students, one of the members of our community, set some boundaries with a family member this week. The family member is drinking and being very toxic, and they had to set a painful boundary because it just was not working for them. It was bringing them down. They noticed that their energy was dropping every time they had to interact with this person in their family. So they had to set some boundaries. It's hard to do. It's hard to set boundaries, especially in regard to people that you love. And this week, let's start to use regret as data, okay? If you print out this little worksheet package, again, go to unbreakablewisdom.com. Big button on the top says free stuff. Click that, and you can print out this worksheet for yourself. One regret that you're carrying around for something that you didn't do. One regret that you're carrying around for something that you did do? What do those regrets tell you? Do a little detective work. What does that tell you about what really matters to you most? And then when you discover what matters to you most based on the regrets that you have, is your life in alignment for making what matters to you most important? Are you making that important? We got a little release practice here for you that I created. Your regret or piece of clutter, whatever's cluttered, asking you what can you let go? What part of it can you let go of today? What lesson can you take from it moving forward? Where also can you choose courage over comfort this week? Where can you be more bold in the living of your own life? Where have you been shrinking yourself to fit someone else's expectation or someone else's version of you? And I'd like you to think about what that has cost you and what you have gotten from it, because there's always a trade. Something always brings us something and costs us something. Where have you shrunk yourself down so that you were more acceptable, more likable, more welcomed? Where have you contracted yourself to fit in to something? Where have you made yourself small to be accepted and fit in? And why? Why have you done that? Sometimes that's something that has to be done for different reasons. So, what I want you to do is examine why. And then I want you to tell the truth to yourself. Is the why a good enough reason? Or is it time to change something? Is it time to be more bold? Is it time to take different action? And I'd like you to come up with one non-negotiable for the week. What is that going to be? And again, this is all written out. This is a 4-page little mini worksheet workbook for specifically made for this episode of the show. We are now in the Autumn Alignment Challenge. We are in week 1, and we are in Clear the Clutter and using regret as a compass to do some detective work on our lives. So I encourage you to download the worksheet and actually work with it. Actually do the work. If you want to change, listen, I'm doing this. It doesn't cost you anything. The show is here. You can literally listen to it, watch the replay. The workbook is free. If you really want to do something different, you have an opportunity right here, right now, day 1, week 1. Make a change. Do something different. Take control of your circumstances. Stop complaining that life isn't doing what you want it to do, and start being responsible for making a path. Start allowing your future to dictate the present. Okay? The future is our path for the present, because your huge goals for the future, if we walk that backward, we see how you have to start behaving in the present to get where you want to go. When you make a huge goal and you shorten the timeline, let's say you have a goal to double your income in the next 12 months, you can actually make that happen. What that's going to mean is you need to clean up your life and you need to focus on the stuff that matters and leave the rest of it behind. Our lives are so fraught up with nonsense. It's a wonder why anyone can get out of their own way. Okay, high performers and people that are making 6, 7, 8 figures and beyond, they don't have time for nonsense. They are very driven, very focused, very much in alignment with where they want to go. And I know this because I've been coaching and consulting them for 38 years. The difference between my high performing clients and the regular folks is that the high performing people are willing to be disciplined and consistent, and they're willing to continue to examine their own life and tell the truth to themselves about the shitty, grubby, disgusting stuff that nobody else wants to look at. Not only are they willing to tell the truth about it to themselves, they do something about it. They hire me or somebody else to say, hey, I'm stuck here. I need to move past it. I've got big things I want to do. What do I have to do? And then they do it. They do it. So I'm giving you the opportunity to do something different, to take the next 6 weeks to actually work this challenge for yourself and make something different happen. And it starts this week with clearing clutter and really examining some of the regrets that you have in your life and why, and what that means, and what that's showing you, and what need is not being met, which is why there's a regret in the first place. It means that there was a need that was not met. And that's why you regret it. So if it's a closed door regret, you may have to reframe the way that you're holding it in order to move forward. If it's an open door regret, you still have a chance to do something about it. Humans crave stability, growth, goodness, and love. Those are the 4 core things that people crave. And often our regrets are associated with one of those items, more often than not. So I invite you this week to be bold. I invite you to really do the work. Go print out the free worksheet. Go to unbreakablewisdom.com, hit the free stuff button at the top, print out the worksheet. You can also join our mailing list, take a free class. I've honest to God made it so easy for you to help yourself. I'm giving away so much free content. All you have to do is log in, sign in, join the newsletter, print the worksheet, whatever. In order to print the worksheet for the show, you have to do nothing. Just print the worksheet. I don't even want your email address. It doesn't matter. I just want you to do the work and change your life because you're the only one that can. So it's time to stop whining and waiting for someone to save you. It's time for you to do something for you. And if you want ongoing support, you can jump into our community, okay? Because that's where we're having these kind of conversations on a daily basis. You can find out everything you need to know at unbreakablewisdom.com. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you for week 2 of Autumn Alignment Challenge. And in there, we're going to talk about writing your year's ending and really setting the stage for the Q4 that you want to have, because it will be September 27th, a few days before Q4 starts. And I'm really going to focus you in on setting yourself up for success so that you end the year strong. Okay, we'll see you soon. Have a good week.